In this video, we're diving into one of the most important parts of any SolidWorks simulation, meshing. Whether you're a beginner or brushing up on best practices, understanding how the mesh works and how to control it can make or break your results. So, let's walk through the essentials of meshing in SolidWorks simulation step by step. To create a mesh, first, go in the simulation tree and right-click the word Mesh. You'll choose Create Mesh. Here, you'll see the options to create a mesh. If you want to keep things simple, you can just go with the default settings, or even adjust the slider to make the elements smaller, fine, or larger, coarse. Click the check mark to create the mesh, and within seconds, the CAD geometry has been turned into a meshed model. If you want more control over the overall size, you can dig into the menu for more granularity. Starting at the top with the mesh density slider, this sets the size of the elements from coarse to fine. Now, you don't have to put a lot of thought into this, because these values are unique for every model and it's based on the geometry, so it's always a good starting point. To get access to more control, just check the box for mesh parameters and it'll switch into Pro mode, where you can define more of the settings. Just start at the top and work your way down. First is the algorithm, which defines the meshing scheme. In other words, how does it convert the CAD geometry into a finite element model? You can pick from 3. Standard mesh is the tried and true algorithm that gets most jobs done. You define a maximum and minimum element size, and it gets the job done fast. Next is the curvature-based mesh, which adds additional settings like element growth ratio. This helps to define the resolution. The element growth ratio defines how dramatically elements can change shape from small to big, and as a result, a more high-resolution model, especially with curved or small features. Last is the blended curvature-based mesh, which is more of a hybrid. It's fast when you need it, and high resolution where you'd want it. It was added in 2016, and it's now the default mesher. By default, the elements will be high quality instead of draft quality. High quality elements have an extra node along the element edges to allow them to map to the geometry better, as well as have more accuracy in the solver because these elements have those parabolic second-order edges instead of linear edges with draft quality. But draft quality is way quicker to solve, so for larger simulations, you might want to consider changing the element quality. The quality can be defined per body or part here in the Mesh Quality tab. Clicking the green check mark will create the mesh based on these settings. Now, let's start to consider the question, is this a good mesh? Before running the simulation, we can start to understand the answer to that question by looking at things like the aspect ratio. The aspect ratio is a number which defines the geometric shape of the elements. We want elements with an aspect ratio close to 1. We want to minimize the number of elements with high aspect ratios. With this aspect ratio plot, we can see that there's a few elements that are close to 8. So let's fix that. To get even more granularity and control, you can use the tool called Mesh Controls. This goes beyond the global mesh settings from before and applies specific settings to areas of your model. Here, we will make the elements along these edges close to 1 millimeter in size. Remeshing the model now, you can see the impact that had on the size. Let's verify with the aspect ratio plot, and yeah, this is acceptable to me. It's very high, but you can see it's only a few elements. So let's dig deeper. To get even more information, I can right-click on Mesh and get the details. This gives me a summary of the quantifiable information of my mesh. Specifically, I can understand the total number of elements and how many of them are good or bad shaped elements. 99.8 with an aspect ratio less than 3 and 0.1% greater than 10. At this point, anything more is just diminishing returns, and I'm ready to move on. And just like that, our simulation is complete. But here's the key takeaway. It wasn't just the setup, fixtures, or loads that made this analysis accurate. It's going to be the mesh. A thoughtful mesh ensures your results are worth trusting. If your mesh is sloppy, your results might be too. So whether you're just starting out or running production level simulations, remember this. The mesh isn't just a checkbox to click. It's the foundation your simulation stands on. Thanks for watching this crash course in meshing with SolidWorks Simulation. If this helped, give it a like, subscribe for more content like this, and leave a comment if you want a deeper dive into things like convergence, different elements like shells and beams, or maybe some solver tips next.